After the news, First Tuesday reports on the Morris dancers of Saddleworth and also on the decline of the fishing industry. First Tuesday with Jonathan Dimbleby is tonight at 10:30. This is Thames from London. We now go over to Alastair Stewart at ITN.
Foreign Office Minister expresses great concern for Britons held in Angola. 3 held since Christmas remanded on bomb charges. The top people's paper, 200 years on, how the times have changed. And the old-fashioned 1-2 gives Spurs 2-1, they stay on top. Good evening. The Foreign Office Minister, Mr. Malcolm Rifkind, has expressed what he calls the government's very great concern for Britons captured by UNITA guerrillas in Angola. There's confusion tonight about how many Britons have been seized. UNITA say they've captured 3 Britons, but the Foreign Office say 5 Britons were working in that area, and only 1 is known to be safe. UNITA today warned Angolan government forces not to pursue the rebels, or there would be disagreeable consequences for the hostages. They said they were moving the captives 500 miles south from Kafunfo, where they were seized, to their rebel headquarters at Jamba. The journey would take a month. One of the Britons captured is Mr. Glenn Dixon from Leicestershire. His wife was told of his capture by his American company. Today she gave her reaction.
Shocked. Stunned, I just couldn't believe it.
Have you ever discussed the possibility of his being kidnapped?
Well, you just talk about it casually, and just hope it never happens. And that he just said if it ever did, not to worry, that he would be okay.
What sort of a man is he?
Oh, he'll get through, if it's a walk, he'll probably be a bit tough for the first couple of days, but he'll walk, he'll get through well.
Soviet leaders are said to be looking forward with hope to next week's arms talks with the United States in Geneva. The official newspaper Pravda said Russia is ready to look for radical solutions to the problems of nuclear weapons. President Reagan has interrupted a holiday to meet his foreign policy advisers to discuss strategy for the talks. In Rome, Pope John Paul said the new round of talks offered a glimmer of hope for peace. But speaking to thousands in St. Peter's Square, he said the United States and Russia must renounce their egoistic and ideological interests for the talks to be a success. 3 men, 2 of them from Ireland, have appeared in court in Liverpool charged with conspiracy to cause an explosion. They've been remanded in custody at the city's main Bridewell police station until Friday. Patrick Brazil and William Grimes, both from Dublin, and Peter Jordan from Bristol, were arrested on Christmas Eve under the Prevention of Terrorism Act. They were among 6 men held at Bridewell and questioned by special branch detectives. 2 of the others were fined yesterday for giving police false information after a drinking spree, and another has been released without being charged. The American Federal Aviation Administration have started a review of their safety regulations after a convicted mass murderer hijacked a DC-10 to Cuba. Ismail Labit was being flown to a New York jail from the American Virgin Islands when he overpowered his guards and took their guns. Labit, doing life for killing 8 people, is now being held by the Cubans while they decide what to do with him. The other 184 passengers, all unharmed, flew on to New York 7 hours late. They described what happened during the hijack experience. We have interviews with 2 of them.
He was about 2 rows behind the 3 officers, and he told them to put their hands up. And they didn't, 2 of them didn't put their hands up, and he told them again. And so they put their hands up, and he told them to walk out the aisle and walk to the back, where he put them on the floor.
And we saw him come back with a gun, and we just thought that, over there we thought he might start shooting or something, and that would be it. It was just horrible.
Cabinet papers from 1954, made public today under the 30-year rule, show that the Churchill government were afraid the Americans might start another world war. It was a factor in the decision to build a British H-bomb. Churchill said Britain couldn't maintain its influence without up-to-date nuclear weapons. The records also show he wanted to go to Moscow for arms talks, which led to a major row at 5 successive cabinet meetings.
At 79, Churchill abandoned his plans to retire. There were problems in the world he thought that he alone could tackle. In Vietnam, the communist-backed Viet Minh were closing in on the French at Dien Bien Phu. The American Secretary of State Dulles wanted a multinational force prepared to take on the communists. The British Foreign Secretary, Anthony Eden, heavily involved in the Geneva peace talks, wanted to restrain the Americans. Their plan, he told the British cabinet, could cause the Third World War. Churchill agreed with Eden about Dulles, but he was determined to prevent the rift with America growing any wider. And against Eden's advice, he insisted on visiting his old friend, President Eisenhower, in Washington. In one message to Eisenhower in his personal file here, he talks of brushing away this chatter about an Anglo-American rift which can benefit no one but our common foes. Churchill thought personal diplomacy could work with the Russians too. He asked for a meeting with Stalin's successors. Ministers protested they weren't consulted. Churchill said he'd always exchanged personal messages with world leaders. They said he'd acted unconstitutionally. Resignations were threatened. In the end, the meeting never happened, and Churchill was to celebrate his 80th birthday with great ceremony, but without a final diplomatic triumph.
The Times, Britain's oldest national newspaper, is 200 years old tonight, and the Thunderer is celebrating its birthday with a special edition which looks at times past and present.
200 years ago today, the Daily Universal Register first rolled off the presses. Tomorrow, a facsimile of that first 4-page edition goes out free with the paper it has since become. And today, as 2 centuries ago, the last moments before the paper goes to bed are presided over by the editor. Tonight, the Times' 12th editor reflected on the first 200 years of the Thunderer, of which he says the last 20 years have been the most unsettled.
Years of enormous ups and downs, of great controversy and difficulty, when the paper has been making a lot of news itself, whereas in the past it not only made news itself, but it also was supremely efficient at reporting news.
Probably the most famous newspaper in the world was started primarily to advertise a new printing process. Now the Times is playing a leading role in Fleet Street's new technology printing revolution. It's all part of a proud tradition. Jeremy Hands, ITN, New Printing House Square.
Sport now with news of a good start to the new year for the Football League leaders Tottenham and Everton. Here's Steve Ryder.
A day when the First Division's last 2 unbeaten home records were finished. Imre Varadi got 2 goals as Sheffield Wednesday beat Manchester United 2-1 at Old Trafford. Gordon Strachan missed a penalty for United, his 3rd miss of the season. And Spurs stayed top of the table by beating Arsenal 2-1 at Highbury.
Arsenal's new signing Steve Williams spent the first half on the subs bench, and as his team tore into the league leaders, it was difficult to see where he'd fit in. First, Mariner's lob almost got the better of Roberts. Then a free kick into the wind landed on a confused defence. Woodcock kept running, and only one of Clemence's less elegant saves kept it out. But Spurs were finally breached by a freak goal. Anderson sliding the ball across for Woodcock to backheel through the crowd. By half-time, though, Arsenal's New Year party was all over. Spurs came out against the wind, and Hoddle used it superbly. When his pass came down, Caton and Lukic both took cover, and Crooks cashed in. Roberts passed on the season's greetings to the crowd, and 15 minutes later, the celebration was complete. Arsenal charged after the ball and forgot all about Falco. That was it for the Gunners, except for the tackle of the day by Caton, and substitute Williams almost setting up the equaliser for Anderson. But Spurs deserved the points, if only for showing the sort of commitment which wins championships. Peter Staunton, ITN Sport, Highbury.
Everton had to beat Luton by 5 clear goals at Goodison Park if they were to overhaul Spurs at the top. Trevor Stevens scored twice for them, but they could only manage a 2-1 win. So it's Spurs on top by goal difference. They and Everton are now 5 points clear. Sheffield Wednesday's win at Old Trafford has moved them into the top 5. At the bottom, things are looking very bleak for Stoke, 10 points adrift after losing 4-0 in the day's big relegation game at Coventry. In Division 2, Oxford have cut Blackburn's lead to a single point. Birmingham kept up their challenge with an amazing 4-3 win at Sheffield United, all the goals coming in the second half. And Portsmouth, 4-0 up at home, saw Fulham fight back to a 4-4 draw. Rugby Union, the second match in Romania's short tour of England, brought their second defeat at the hands of the South and South West at Gloucester.
The tourists grabbed an early 3-point lead when Alex Andrew kicked a 30-metre penalty. But their New Year celebrations were short-lived because in the county's first running attack, Harding, Barnes, Palmer and Rees created the overlap for David Trick to score. Tricky Dicky, as he's known in the West Country, was to play a major role in the county's success over the Romanians. Stuart Barnes had a disastrous game at fly half, so much so he has failed to retain his England place. The Romanians tried to handle the ball in the second half but gave away silly penalties. And it was mistakes like that which the counties pounced on, Barnes putting 3 more points on the board. Well, the counties were on top, particularly in the ruck and maul, where they dominated, and the try of the match came late in the second half. And it was David Trick using his pace who made the break, and eventually unselfishly lobbing the ball to fullback Chris Martin to score. On today's performance, England must be favourites to win at Twickenham next Saturday. Ian Seymour, ITN Sport, Gloucester.
Immediately after the match, the England selectors went into the dressing room and announced the team for next Saturday's game, and that team includes 5 new caps and 9 changes.
50,000 people crammed into Trafalgar Square for the traditional New Year festivities, but the police said the event was relatively trouble-free.
Long before midnight, the police operation to control the crowds was underway. The famous fountains were drained and boarded up, and an electronic message board offered information and advice. More than 50,000 people were in the square when midnight struck. And then the celebrating really began. It was a busy night for ambulance men. They treated almost 50 people. Many had eye injuries caused by foam spray, apparently as indispensable as alcohol to the occasion. But it was generally all good fun and, appropriately, was sealed with a kiss. Kevin Dunn, ITN, Trafalgar Square.
Finally, when in Rome on New Year's Day, you need to be pretty hardy to do as the Romans do. With 1985 just a few hours old, traditionalists of all ages took the ritual plunge into the River Tiber. It's one way of getting into the drink and staying stone-cold sober. And that's the news from ITN this first day of 1985. From all of us to all of you, good evening and a very happy New Year.
There's a wealth of entertainment with something for everyone in the new year, Wednesday night on Thames. At 7, Judith Chalmers and Chris Kelly return for a new series of Wish You Were Here and show you the delights of Tenerife and St. Lucia. At 7:30 in Coronation Street, the new boss of the Rovers Return makes themselves known. And at 8, there's a brand new hour of comedy with the Benny Hill Show.
You are not. What the hell is he?
At 9, a special film report on the greatest newspaper in the world, The Times.
The Times in the past was known as the Thunderer. It had a view on things.
The paper has really become so pro-Thatcher that only Mrs. Thatcher can really put up with reading it.
And at 10:30, the British TV premiere of Gallipoli.
You are to push on. It's cold-blooded murder.
Wartime action in the British TV premiere of Gallipoli. New Year programmes for Wednesday on Thames.
Now, the weather. Tonight, cold and windy with occasional showers of rain or sleet and perhaps some snow over higher ground. Lowest temperatures 1 Celsius, 34 Fahrenheit. There'll be sunny intervals between showers tomorrow, but highest temperatures only about 5 Celsius, 41 Fahrenheit. That's the weather. In a moment, First Tuesday.
All I need is Comtrex to treat my cold symptoms. Including headache.
Comtrex, that's all, nothing else.
Most brands of videotape still use iron in their formulations, but not BASF. Instead, we use long-lasting chrome. In videotape, nothing outshines BASF chrome.
When Dad offered to show Gran how to play golf, she soon had the game off to a T. I knew they'd need a nice cup of Quick Brew when they got home. Quick Brew makes a lovely cup of tea because these flavour perforations let all the rich taste of the tea flow through. Well, Gran, good game.
Smashing.
Hello, dear. One lump or two. Quick Brew makes a lovely cup of tea.
With thousands upon thousands of productions, from furniture to fashions, kitchenware to menswear. There's one sale that has just about everything, and it starts this Friday at Harrods.
Hello, Tosh got a Toshiba. Hello, Tosh got a Toshiba. Like your hi-fi system. Like your hi-fi system. It's got a fair old bit of power. It's got a fair old bit of power. We are talking quality. We are talking quality. Of course, every Toshiba component is stronger to last longer. Know what I mean? Get your ears round that.
Wallop.
Get your ears round that.
Wallop.
Hello, Tosh got a Toshiba. Hello, Tosh got a Toshiba.
There's a lighter, brighter world today, so enjoy your chocolate the lighter way. Maltesers, Maltesers, honeycomb center, crispy and light, real milk chocolate in every bite. There's a lighter, brighter world today, so enjoy your chocolate the lighter way. Maltesers, Maltesers.
There's a holiday company who can take you all over Great Britain, Europe, even Canada, yet pick you up close to home. Give you scenic, sunshine, skiing, and low-cost budget holidays from as little as £69 for 7 days in Spain, with no surcharges, guaranteed. That company is National Holidays, voted by travel agents the best coach holiday operator. Pick up the brochures at your travel agent. There's something for everyone.
Cool, slow-burning, satisfying St. Bruno, the patron saint of pipe smokers.
Make a resolution to get TV Times for Russell Grant's Star Calendar and up to £100 holiday cash, plus all the new programmes on ITV and Channel 4.
Tonight on First Tuesday,
we're the best northwest side, so that makes the best side in England.
a men-only world in the Pennines, and the Arctic voyagers with nowhere to go.
I still say to this day, if anybody give me a ship, I'd go.
Good evening and welcome to the New Year edition of First Tuesday.
Hello, Tosh got a Toshiba. Hello, Tosh got a Toshiba. Like your hi-fi system. Like your hi-fi system. It's got a fair old bit of power. It's got a fair old bit of power. We are talking quality. We are talking quality. Of course, every Toshiba component is stronger to last longer. Know what I mean? Get your ears round that.
Wallop.
Get your ears round that.
Wallop.
Hello, Tosh got a Toshiba. Hello, Tosh got a Toshiba.
Just as I stopped to light one of my 6 mild, smooth-smoking Panama cigars, I saw it. PWP 666. £6,000 for a 6-cylinder engine and only 6 previous owners. So I bought it. And 6 miles up the A6, as I went to the aid of Sylvia's syncopating sextet, it broke down.
Panama, the cigar with 6 appeal.
Being a big comfort user can have its problems. The bottle can be a little heavy, a trifle difficult to handle. So now there's an easier way to comfort softness. Now there's new concentrated comfort. It's concentrated 3 times, so with only 1/3 as much, you get the same comfort, softness and freshness. Regular or new concentrated. Comfort, softness, either way.
A mere month after its UK launch, Autocar called the Fiat Uno the ultimate super mini. Then it was voted Car of the Year in 1984. And Car magazine judged it, quite simply, the best small car yet. Now, for a limited period, the Uno comes with a free 2-year warranty and a special service offer, adding peace of mind to excellence. The Fiat Uno. Now more than ever, setting new standards in value.
Monday wrote Mr. Kipling and 2 young scrumpers after my Bramleys. I explained to these discerning rascals that only the best British Bramleys fill my pies. I then set them to make amends, and having done so admirably, I rewarded them with some Bramleys in the form of my exceedingly delicious apple pies. So tempting. It's a jolly good thing they don't grow on trees.
In every home, in your home, germs may lurk unseen, breeding, multiplying, spreading, like this. Wipe them out with Domestos. Strong, thick Domestos clings longer to go on working even after the flush, to help keep your home cleaner and safer. Domestos kills all known germs, dead.